reminded them of what their life once was and all the people that they had in their life at that time. So I always throw on some music just to get us thinking. It's one of my rituals every morning. I wake up to prepare for the day, the good and the bad.
Where do I need to go?
Go ahead and open up Safari. And do you have a little clicker I can go ahead and click over to? Cool. Sometimes working over here.
Yeah, you're gonna actually have to be down this end eventually.
No problem.
Where am I going?
YouTube. 1 hour piano music.
Now that we have your attention.
I'm pretty old school.
Everyone breathe. They're not going to make you do anything bad.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one. Open up the PowerPoint here.
Mi duende quiere dominar el bosque. Angela. Para detenerlo, necesitará
Guys all ready?
Who wants to watch this instead of Anthony?
That's part of the music. That's part of the PowerPoint.
Is it gonna play?
I don't know. Go back to
Ooh, I
it.
like that.
I hear it.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Okay. There we
Just
go.
turn it up just a tad bit if you can. Oh, that's perfect. All right, so first to introduce myself, my name's Anthony Burns, 21, pretty young. I've always been called whippersnapper, right? Everybody's always older than me. All my friends are about 35 and up. I took interest in older people. Why? Because I needed to learn. And when I was very young, I didn't have the luxury of being able to get spoon-fed everything. At one point, we had everything. My father was middle-aged, family, $275,000 a year for about 25 years. Mother got cancer, stage 4 colon cancer, and she only had 6 months to live. So at that point, when I was 15 years old, I'm in high school. You can imagine back when you thought you were cool, you wanted to be popular, you wanted to party, right? That's all I cared about. I wanted to get some women, maybe meet the dream life, right? To get my relationship. I thought that's what everything was all about. And I recognized that my mother had 6 months to live. So when she was in the hospital and I would come home every day and she wouldn't be here, I'd come home, the mother does everything in the household, right? No dinners no more. And it was kind of weird at first. At first I was coming home and real quiet, just weird energy trying to get used to her not being here. But at 15, you don't know what death really is. You don't think about it. It's just not in our thoughts. And so I found myself after a couple of weeks wondering, what is life about? What does this mean? What does it mean to us? What is it? Why are we here? Why are you real estate agents? For what? Why? What drives you every morning? What wakes you up every day? Who do you think about when you wake up? Are you making the money for who? You or somebody around you? What are you going to do when you die? What are you leaving behind you? All these thoughts started coming to me, and I started to get anxious. Like, man, life, it's not about school to me. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stay in school because I'm worried about my mom dying. 6 months goes by. They said, she's not going to live. It's too bad. It's the size of a softball, so she's dead. I thought she was dead. I didn't know what to think of it now, right? So she ended up beating it by her mental thoughts. The whole time we thought she was dead, she said, I'm winning. This is going to happen. I'm not dying. And a lot of us kill our day in the very beginning. This morning, everything was going wrong when I woke up this morning, from me dropping my coffee, from me dropping my laptop, and I stopped for a second, took a deep breath, and said, that's not how my day's going to go. Because we often let our day, because it starts every morning, the very second you wake up, what you think your day is going to happen that way. How many of you guys have thought something that literally had happened? You literally felt it. You knew it was going to happen. Your buyer, I know he's going to buy. Then he doesn't buy. That's okay, because the next one's going to be better and bigger and refer you to more people. And if you don't constantly think that way, your day's not going to be better. So when my mom was dying, I thought she was dead. She beat it in her mind. She said, I'm walking out. She got up with the radiation cords hooked up to her, had to use the bathroom, and she had this big ostomy bag hooked to her stomach, and she walked out of the hospital and said, I don't want no more treatments. My father sold his business that year right before she got cancer. We ended up going bankrupt because the bills were over $700,000. So everything my father had worked for, 3 brothers and a sister, 2 homes, we lost everything. So we went from being middle-aged to not worrying about finances to never knowing what I'm going to eat. My mother wasn't there to cook, so at 15, I don't know how to cook anything. Still don't really. So I wonder how women have learned that over the years, but something else happened to me, and there's 3 different situations that woke me up just a little bit and had me recognizing what I want to do in life. happened? Why am I here? Why are we here? What are humans together? And my father didn't talk too much. You know how it is growing in a household. Sometimes parents argue, you choose a side. Who do you like more, the mom or the wife? Both of them the same. So my father, we kind of had resentment to him because we had bankrupt. And we kind of blamed it on him. Well, why'd you sell your business? When we couldn't prepare for something like that. I couldn't prepare for my father to sell a business at 15. I didn't know what's going on. He sold it. She gets cancer. We're bankrupt. Don't know where we're going to live. It's kind of weird. And then we didn't talk to him for about 6 months. Learned lesson number 2. We let our ego get in the way of loving the people that we really love. Instead of me grabbing somebody like Daniel and saying, I love you, I got your back, we let the ego get in the way, especially us men. Instead of calling my father all the time, regardless of the money that we had, right? I thought he failed. I thought we were doomed at the time. And I just recognized that we were struggling because pain is fuel to get through your next adventure. So I always consider pain as propane, just like the propane tank for your grill. Every pain that you experience is just propane fuel to fuel you, which you're the grill. And you have to flip words like that and make them mean something to you. Because if you wake up every day and you don't have anything to strive for, waking up every day and saying, I'm going to sell a couple houses, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's not enough to get you to go market. That's not enough to get you to keep going. And when you're with somebody, it's not enough to listen to them, to understand, do they really want to buy a house, or are they looking for a real estate agent that's going to stick with them for the rest of their life? Why is it so often, and I'm comparing it, that real estate agents only sell a customer maybe 1 or 2 times? And they buy a house every 7 years. It just makes me think, and I always thought about that myself. Why? Why are they going to different agents? Moving out of the city, is that the problem? Moving to another state, is that an issue? So, going back to what I was going through, my father got hit by a car, and I was a sales manager at LA Fitness. Since 18, I had potential to make 6 figures in sales. That's what I wanted to pursue. I found a mentor, and he was 36 years old, and I said, I need to know what you know. He always looked at me funny, like, why are you so curious about me? I said, well, my mom might die. My father might die. My brother was blown up in Iraq. I thought he was dead. My other brother, we found him not breathing because of alcohol. This was all by 18. 4 members out of 7. Why? I always ask myself, why? So what it meant to me is, what is life now? If I'm almost losing all my family, I didn't care about the money anymore at that point at 18 years old. What's life really about to me? So let's get right into this PowerPoint now. Every day you guys come in as real estate agents, and I'll make comparisons. Obviously, all of us want to make this. That's what we're after. Every day we wake up to get this, not for us, but for what we can do with it, for our purpose with the money. Right? So we wake up every day, and the first thing that I do to enhance my day, it may help you, is obviously I want to make money. But what do I want to do with it when I get it? When you sell that $1 million home, what are you going to do with the commission? Where's it going to go? Is it going to go to bills? Is it going to go to somebody around you? You got to tie attachments to it to remind you, because when you get through the frustrating days where you're sitting here questioning, what are you going to do? How are you going to make it? You tie it back to the meaning. So you tie it back to something that's meaningful to you. As soon as this will switch over. So when I wake up, something I keep in mind is I don't think about the money, I think about what I could do with it. And I put it in pictures. On my laptop, I have what I could do with the money. Because if it's all in here, you're lost. If it's all in your mind, you're lost. You're losing the battle as soon as you wake up every day. When you wake up, you know what you want to do in here. But if you don't wake up and have some sort of picture on your bathroom door, some sort of picture on your refrigerator, some sort of, right on your mirror, a list of what you're great at doing. What you're great at doing. Okay, I'm good with communication. I'm good with this. I look very well. I maintain positive attitude. I'm good at all these little things. You got to put them in your brain every single second you wake up. You have to keep in mind who you are, who's your identity, because you're going to go through life, and you guys all know what happens when you go through the day and stuff starts to go wrong. Change is difficult. Not changing is fatal. It's something I always keep in mind, because I didn't want to grow up at 15. I wasn't ready. I wanted to go have fun with my friends. And then I recognized if all my family died and I wasn't able to give something back before they died, what did it mean? I mean, my mother raised me, my father raised me, but then they're dead now. They fed me their whole life, and I didn't get that chance to give anything to them. That's fatal to me, right? I mean, our parents put us here. Regardless of what they did with us, they put us here. We've got to be appreciative. regardless of some things that we do go through, we just gotta keep in mind that people are people, regardless. You guys all have different families, but that doesn't mean you're a stranger to me. For what? You have the same heart as I do, right? What do you want out of real estate? What do you want to do with once you become wherever you are, if you're not already there? What do you want out of it? For you?
I just want to leave a legacy to my family.
Why?
It's just a great thing to do.
And what drives you to do that? What made you trigger to do that? You just want to provide? No?
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel? Why do you do real estate?
To enjoy life. Or to have money to enjoy life, to be happy.
Okay. And what about for you? What's the purpose for you doing this? Well, you're at a t-shirt company, so let me ask you this. What made you start that and why?
I was tired of working for somebody else.
Get out of the 9 to 5 rut? And what about for you? What's your purpose of doing real estate?
Like meeting people.
And what about for you? What's your purpose for real estate?
Same thing. I want to be my own boss.
What
I'm a
about
nonprofit executive,
Okay.
and I just want to make a difference.
in whose life?
The unfortunate.
So you want to leave a dent.
Yep.
Piece of the puzzle, because regardless of how many lives we touch, even just one can spread to another. Just like negativity is a disease, so is positivity. You change a whole day around with just a smile. I encounter people all the time, and they're just got this look on their face like, man, Anthony, shut up. Okay, I'm gonna keep pushing now. You gotta shut me up. You better knock me out, because I promise you within 3 hours your day will flip around. And that's my drive every day, to flip the dates, because there's something bothering this person. I don't know what it is, but we can change it, right? But it's gonna be difficult, so don't change. Now, this is something I keep in mind for me, the new life or the old life. Yesterday's the old life, and we often get stuck in our thoughts from yesterday. Thank you, I appreciate it. So every single day we wake up, some people think of it in other perspectives. What wakes me up is I say, okay, today's not necessarily another day. It's really not. It's another life. It's another chance for you to become anything you want to be. Just because you have attachments to your past, just because your family may think of you as whatever you've done in the past, all the talents that you had, the bad things that you did, that's up to you every morning to erase that. That's up to you to attach a new meaning to it. So when you wake up every single day, you got a new life. It's a new life. All right, today I'm going to do something different than yesterday, because change is difficulty, but if you don't, it's fatal. A lot of us don't want to be uncomfortable. Speaking in general across the world, we don't want to be uncomfortable. We want to get this system down in our head where this is what I do when I wake up. It's going to go this smoothly. This is what I'm doing next week. Everything's going to fall right into place, and then you realize that it's not falling into place, and you get disappointed inside yourself. Why not expect the worst in the world and the best out of you? So every day you wake up, just expect things to go wrong and be prepared. And then when they do, you say, I knew it. And that's not going to bother me. That guy that cut me off this morning, somebody kicked him down. I'm not going to let that. Well, you're letting them control you every time that happens. This is Orlando. The traffic don't bother me no more, because it was killing me. I'm driving, I'm cursing myself out. I'm like, for what? I can't control it. So one thing that I do every day, as today being a new life, let go of what you can't control. And a lot of this stuff is just going to be affirmations to what you already know. And that's why I do it every day, because it's stuff that we need to hear every day. Not every week, not every month. You know how it is. You read a great book, and a year later you're reading it again, because you forgot a lot of what's in it. But you took a couple of good valid points to bring with you. So every single day we have to stay focused on positive mental attitude. Every day. It'll attract anything that you want when you have a positive flow, because your experience that you leave behind is everything with any business. We're all in the people business. Every new day is another chance to change your life, regardless of how bad it is. How many billionaires went under and flew back up? And every time they went under, they were prepared. It was just a test. Okay, I went that far, and then I flew down. How high can I go this time?
Charlie, you know that.
But then, hold on, we get down and then we reflect on our old experience. But I had this much, and now I only have this much. That's okay. If you're a real man, let's see how much you can get this time. It's another test. And it never stops, and it never will. Everybody gets to the top and they think, okay, I've made it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because now you have to find a new purpose, a new drive, a new goal, or else you're going to find yourself depressed. Because you got everything that you want, now what, right? So keep in mind of everything that you achieve, there's always another stepping stone. New level, new devil, however that relates to you. All right? New business, new people. You know, just like competition, I always think about it. Apple comes out with another product. Look how many people are matching what they do. So you might be a genius, create a product, hit it home run, make a ton of money, and then there's about 3 to 5 more companies preparing to come after you. So be prepared for the competition. Now this has always reminded me when I was young and I wasn't so worried about the future and I wasn't so worried about my family, everything was intact. And what I bring from this picture is when we were children. When we were children, we try to kind of forget that barrier of when we were a child, but the best part about when you were a child is you had so many dreams. Every single day, 90% of our thoughts, I would say, are controlled by the things around us. Whether it's a family issue, relationship issue, something with real estate, you're never even focused on you. All your thoughts are about everything but you. So just keep in mind every day to have all your thoughts focused on yourself. And not for yourself, but remember who you are every single day. And the dreams that you did have, it's not over, it's just beginning. Every day's a new life. So what do you want now? Are you at the bottom? Are you struggling? Are you at the top trying to find another purpose? Where are you at? There's always another level. So I keep in mind this little child because it reminds us that there's still dreams to come true. And I didn't believe that I was going to be doing what I'm doing right now, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Go back real quick here. Now this picture I want you guys to really carefully look at when it goes back. Every day it dawns on me because every bad day I have, I just think about how somebody's going to laugh at reading that page in my book. Wow, he really went through that? Anthony really went through that situation on the book? You got to imagine your life is a book every single day. You got to imagine every day your lines and what happened. Who did you meet? What's in that book? And every day is a page. So it might have been a bad day to you, but that's a great read for somebody else. So just remember, a great book is usually a book full of struggles and troubles and humorous things. So look back on your life and not say, wow, what did I do? Because it's going to be a great read for somebody other than you. So release the butterflies. The butterflies, what they mean to me is if you're not gentle with people, they won't be gentle with you. Usually how you're being treated is how you're treating people. Sometimes we don't recognize it. We have a bad attitude and we don't recognize it. Somebody tells us, hey man, you need to calm down, or you got to do this. No, I don't. Our ego kicks in and we don't want to take the advice sometimes. Even if we already know what to do, that affirmation is just reminding you. It's not against you. It's just reminding you, hey man, slow down, make a change. You used to do this. We got to keep that in mind every day. How are we treating people? Especially when your business revolves around people. Your experience. When you walk away is what matters. It don't matter what you said to that buyer. It does not matter what you said to them. How they feel. And when you walk away, how they feel is all that matters. How they talk about you. Because I know one thing, and we'll get in depth in just a little bit because I'm going to go over that topic. And this is just a picture. It was a picture of a blank book. And that's just waiting for you. Every week you're writing a new chapter in your book. So it's a little bit delayed. I don't get it sometimes. That's okay. Now, real quick, I want to stop on that because that's something big. A lot of us, and some of this stuff is going to be like, where did this kid come up with this stuff? I see everything as pictures. Words to me are images. And every time somebody says something to me, I don't look at it as a word. I look at it as what do they mean by that? What's the picture they got on, in their head about what they just said? Because words are images describing what you see, and everybody sees life differently. Everyone. You may not see eye to eye with somebody else, but that's because they're seeing it a different way than you do. Everything's black and white. They may see in the black, you're seeing the white. You're not wrong. You're just not seeing it the same way. So on a book like this, when you got anything that you want to put in this book every day, what do you want to write today? Make it adventurous. Make it crazy. Make it wild. Do the extra step that you need to, even though it's uncomfortable. And this is all affirmation, stuff you already know that we need to hear daily. The one who follows the crowd will usually get no further than the crowd, and the one who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever been. I've studied Albert Einstein, and his life was, people wouldn't want to live the life he lived. He's a genius, but if you see what he had to go through, it's rough. But the roughest lives make the biggest difference. Always. If you're not going through anything that's painful, nothing's going to grow you. Pain is fuel. Frustration is fuel. It's just drive. It's just filling up your gas tank to get to the next step. Real quick, it took me 1.5 years to actually get myself to go viral. I created 252 different speeches, totaling over 5,500 different videos of speeches, and I narrowed it down to 252. I don't plan or edit anything I've ever done. I can't. I just can't. My thoughts I can't focus on later. I just want to get there, I'll figure it out right then and there. If it goes wrong, hey, I made a mistake. I'm human. I'll learn from it. This picture rides with me because my first 110 videos over the course of 1 year, at 20 years old, I was always looked at, well, what does this kid know? You don't know nothing. I have heard that from people that were 50 years older than me, 20 years, 30 years, every age. And I just look at them and say, you're right, I know, so help me. Grow me. Grab me. Don't look at me as if I'm trying to be better than you. Let me learn from you. And who knows, maybe you'll learn something from me as well. Why? Because we forget what it's like to be young. So when you have somebody around you that's reminded you that you're not old, that's all in your mind. I know I'm going to be 70 years old if I make it that far very quick. You guys know what it was like when you were 20. I mean, snap your fingers and it's like, wow, to wake up and the only way you remember that you're getting older is the mirror. Right? But you're really, as far as getting to this, you guys, we have to just keep in mind that what you do every day, and this is how success looks like. I know you guys have seen this before. They say that success, people think it's just a straight line. I know you guys can relate with a lot of this, but how it really looks. Who's grew a business before in here? Was it easy? Did it go as the way you planned?
Not at all.
No? Did you lose some people on the way?
Did.
Find out who your real friends are?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Who your real friends are. The ones that care about you whether you have $1 in your pocket or not. You can love money all you want, but money won't love you back. So stop dating something that doesn't date you. Right? It doesn't have a heartbeat, has no emotions. But we need it to bring our family to where we want to be. To bring us to where we want to be. It's just a steering wheel. Now this reminds me of our journey. I say it's a straight line and roses and it's a beautiful journey. That's how we picture our success, but it never ends up like that. But we can keep in mind that's how it's going to end up. The road may be long, and this is a beautiful picture of a road because the next picture, we don't know what turn's going to happen. We don't know what kind of weather we're going to wake up to. Right? It could be pouring outside. Somebody can get in an accident in front of us. We can get in an accident. We can run into a tragedy. Right? So you just prepare for anything and everything. Every day is another life. And I always thank everybody I have in my circle every day because I didn't recognize that when I was coming home at 12 at night from my job, I got that call at 12:40 that my dad was in the hospital. I didn't talk to him for 6 months. And they said, yeah, your dad was hit by a car riding his bicycle. And I said, wow, I didn't talk to him for 6 months. It just makes you think because we forget. We feel like everything's okay. It is. But just remember to send that little hello and then that little I love you because you never know when you're going to get that last time to say that. And I know we know that, but do we remember? Try something new. Regardless of where you struggle. Like Tony Robbins always says, change it up. No big deal. If you're not doing as well as you want in real estate, we obviously have to change something. That's the only issue. Or just model somebody doing something different. That's it. Tony Robbins believes that if you just model the best, you'll be the best, and then you can be the best you. Don't compare yourself to any other agent, because you could be the best agent you want to be. You could be the best you that you want to be. There's a pedestal up there at the top just for you, right alongside with everybody else, because that's where we can end up, all together on top. It's going to be uncomfortable, but you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, before I go over this, I wanted to just let you guys know that I created over 100 videos, and every video I had, it was negative feedback. People push me to the ground. You're too young. You're not ready yet to go speak. It's not going to happen. Anthony, that's not you. Family members saying, hey, that's just not you. Why don't you go to college, get your life in line, this and that and this. And everybody puts their 2 cents in. Good thing I wasn't a vending machine and I didn't accept it. And I just kept going. Because I want to ask you guys this. We get these ideas in our head. And we say, ooh, that's a good one. And then immediately we go and Tell Daniel. And Daniel gives his perspective on it, gives his opinion on it. And you've been thinking about your idea for maybe minutes, hours, weeks, years, maybe your entire life. You're going to put it in the hands of somebody else that's going to take 5 seconds to think about it. They can think about it nowhere near as long as you. But now his opinion is going to bring you down. So keep your dream tight, keep your ideas tight, keep them in you. Nobody needs to know what it is until it happens. We get excited. We want to go validate ourselves. That's all we're really doing. I got this idea. Do you think it can work? That's what you're saying when you share it. You know it can work. Is it going to be a struggle? Absolutely. You run into trouble? Absolutely. You grew a business. Probably things that happened all the time you didn't expect. That's how your idea is going to be, especially if you're chasing something real big. For some reason, the universe doesn't like it when you go for the biggest things. They tend to put everything in your way. And you know what? I always say, dang, that's going to be a really good chapter in my book. That's going to be a really good page. They're going to really hit home when they read that chapter. All the things that I went through, they're going to really hit home. So at 18, I started to get opportunities making over 6 figures, and money was everything to me. 19, and then 20. I started finding these sales companies, and I would go in there, there'd be 700 agents depending on where I went, and I'd find the best one, and I'd always go and meet the best. I just want to talk to him, just want to see where he's at. Get that feel, shake his hand. It's the same hand that I have. Wow, he's rude. He sells a home that's $5 million. I sold one that's $300,000. We're the same people. What am I doing wrong? Or is it that I don't know enough? Or is it I'm not willing to learn again? Because as we get older, we keep everything in our mind. We forget to read. We forget to do the little things that made us who we are. And then we forget all the wisdom that we already have. Because life gets in the way. 90% of our thoughts are no longer on positive things. It's just things. Things don't love you back. So let's not focus on things that don't love you. Courtesy leads to respect, which leads to meaningful conversation, which permits the building of relationships and mutual trust. Every company I went to, I was the #1 rep pretty much. Not because I was better than anybody, but I took genuine interest in everybody I met. And I genuinely cared. I didn't play the game where I just want to learn about them to gain something, right? Okay, I know I got to like this person so they can like me, forget that. Because if you have that attitude, you lost. You may get the sale, but that's the last sale you'll ever get from them. So when you take genuine interest, and I'm talking, this is stuff you guys may already know, obviously, but genuine interest, instead of meeting somebody and saying, hey, what kind of house you're looking for, this and that, and this and that, and this and that, we can help you. Look at my resume, look at what we've done. We can help you. You know what? That's all cool. That's awesome. But do you care for them? Because if you care for them, it's going to be contagious. It's going to be a disease what they're about to do for you. Because not only are you going to provide them the home that they're looking for, but they're going to be so excited with your experience if you made it that way. What happens when you get people talking? When I get somebody talking about themselves, it makes them feel better because nobody asks anybody about their day. How was your day? Good. Okay, cool. Mine's great too. That's it. The success is an iceberg, as they say, and it goes all the way down thousands of feet, but we see the top. Daniel, how's your family doing?
Good.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
3 brothers, 2 sisters.
Where do you currently work?
Yeah.
How long have you been working?
Over the year. Yeah.
How do you like it?
Love it.
What's making you want to buy a house?
Nothing right now.
So, the point is are you asking enough questions? That's what it comes down to. I don't need to be a billionaire to relate with something that's simple, because the success that I had has led me to say I can get the billions. If they can do it, I can do it. Nothing will stop me from getting there, if I want to get there. Because it's not the money, but it's what I can do with it, how many lives I can change. Because we all know that sometimes the wrong people got the money. And now we're controlled by the people that have the money. And it's not the ones that we want to have the money. So what do we got to do? Genuine relationships with everybody you meet, because they can refer you more people than you may know. How many times have you bought something? This is affirmations. How many times you bought something or you met someone and then literally within a week you told 6, 7, 8 people about what you just did? If they had the best experience with Mr. Wilson, you better believe they're marketing you. You don't even need to follow up. They'll follow up with you. Because people love to promote things. especially something they care about. If they even seen something have to do with real estate, they got you, Mr. Wilson. If they even, anybody, yeah, I might buy one. My guy with Wilson, you gotta give him a call. Because if you left that experience with them when they left, you could sell them on your conversation, but did it last when they left? One person can lead into thousands, because that's how I started. One person watched my video after 100 and said, man, they've really helped me. And then he told somebody. And then it turned into about 3 people. And I replied to him genuinely and gave him my input. Because it's far more than the first conversation. You want to be the best, follow up with them without waiting for them to follow up for you. You're the one that's after the money. But what you're really at is a relationship. Because if you build a good friendship with them, you can call them at any time that you want. Hey, if you have anybody that's looking for, oh yeah, for sure, Wilson. They would love to do that for you. You didn't just put them in a home. You treated them like they were in your home. That's something we just gotta always keep in mind on every single customer. How can I put them in my home? How can I get them in my inner circle? How can I call them and feel as if I can have a conversation with them rather than, I'm not sure, I don't know if I want to call him because the relationship wasn't built properly. Because every time we cold call, if it's somebody we don't really remember how we left off and we don't have notes on who they are, it's pretty rough, isn't it? It's pretty rough. I do a lot of cold calling. I have fun with it now because I just want to know how I can make them smile quick. You know, I overpower them with energy. How's your day? Who are you? Just asking who you're doing. How is it? You know, forget asking the basic stuff. Ask questions that people normally wouldn't ask, and it triggers their brain to start thinking, and people love to think. You ever had a conversation with somebody before and it wasn't the same as all the other conversations? You know, you call somebody, ask them how they're doing, not much. Nothing really there. There's no chemistry. So when you're out with somebody trying to market to them, remember, you're not marketing to them. You're marketing through them. Every person's a portal to your next referral. So that you might meet this guy, sell him a home, and he might meet 10 more people through them. And this is stuff we know, but are we taking that extra step? Are we? Did we start out doing that? Got a little discouraged? Because that's a genuine relationship. You treat them like family, and they'll treat you like family. You won't need to follow up as much because they'll be following up with you. Because you're no longer an agent to them. Provide some value to them. Become a friend with them. Why? Why do they have to be a customer? They're not a customer. They're not. They're a consumer. And they're going to consume every house they ever buy through you. That's what you're in this business for. Or do you want to sell them one home, never talk to them again? Satisfaction, trust, positivity, conviction, loyalty, commitment, feeling, experience. In the middle it says customer. And this is what provided me the success that I've had at these companies every time. Out of 700 agents, everybody always said, and it's always the agents that aren't doing well, oh, it's real estate's not really what everybody says it is. Or you're just not doing what you should be doing to get to where you want to go because you're getting uncomfortable. And now it's time to wake up a little bit, smell the roses every day. Because it's tough, especially when you're getting later in the afternoon, you're getting a little tired and you don't want to keep continuing on. Okay, go ahead and go home. But that agent that you modeled, he's still there. He's still working. At the end of the day, I know we want to be with our family and friends. I get it. But there's a bigger purpose for you being here with them. You could be with them all you want, but what about if you died in a car accident and you didn't leave anything behind? So, what I always remember every day is I may be at work, but I let them know I love them. I let them know that I'm here. And I'm going to keep doing everything I can to give it back to them. I don't care about me anymore. It's not about me anymore. You make it about you, you won't get that far. Because when you do get to the top and you made it all about you, who do you got around you? Who do you got around you? Do we really work for the money, or is it just to give it to somebody else that you love? So when you're with customers, they have a family, just like you do. So instead of always asking questions on how can we get them to buy, obviously, and building the bond, why don't we get to know them? Why don't we get to really know them? Because you know that everybody eventually buys a house. They may not buy it right then and there because, right, we want the instant sale. Oh, it might even be a year from now. But imagine 50 people a year from now dropping all in the next few months, a year from now. every year just went to over 6 figures very quick. But we don't like to look long term sometimes. We do, but we need it now. That's okay. But does everything work when you want it? You could force it, but it usually leads to trouble every time. So be patient with these people. If you don't sell them, they'll sell themselves every single time. Every time they have a great customer experience, they walk away saying, wow, I'm so surprised they didn't try to sell me. It's like a reward. It's kind of different. It's like, wow, I can't believe I'm so used to people trying to get me in a home and show me this, 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 and this. And that guy kind of just built a relationship with me. That's awesome. That's a friend. That means I can call them. That means I can get referrals out of them. That means I can build a probably good relationship and make a ton of money with somebody that actually cares about you, because that's the goal. So make sure you're satisfying what they want, and obviously it's the stuff you know. And it's just simple questions by asking, what do they want? If you could build your own home, how would you build it? Who would be in the home with you? What about your next home? What about your families? What kind of home would they like to live in? It's just to get them thinking. People like to think. People like to answer questions. You get them talking about themselves for 30 minutes, oh man, the joy. They'll be so excited that somebody listened to them. They'll be talking about you for 3 days. Yeah, this agent, he listened to me for 30 minutes. Usually people don't listen for 5 seconds and they're waiting to reply constantly. Or they're talking with their customer and they're constantly playing around with their phone or something and not giving them their undivided full attention. Because people can feel it, it's energy. You know when somebody's paying attention. You know. I know when you get a good bond, right? You know when the chemistry's there. Well, your customer does too. Don't think you're smarter than them. They know that you're trying to get commission. But if you're their friend, they don't mind. Every good conversation starts with good listening. This is stuff we already know. The whole time you're with the customers, just please shut down your mind. And this is just affirmation. Shut down your mind and just listen. Just eliminate anything in your head, even if you're waiting to say something next, or you're trying to, you're figuring out when can I get them to buy, how can I get them to buy, what kind of home can I get them, do we have the listings, who am I going to, drop all that and just listen to them. Ask them questions, get them talking, listen. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth, twice as much you should be listening as you're speaking. If you're the one speaking, you lost, because nobody cares about you. It's not for you. It's not in it for you. They don't care about you. Why do they need to? They can go to any agent in the world. Why you? Why? Why Wilson? Just because you have a bunch of ads? Why? Just because you right? Why? We got to separate ourselves. You want to be the best office in what? The city? Why not Florida? Why not the country? What, because we're not in Malibu? That's okay. Set a new record here. Build something here. This is Orlando. This is where we are, as you always say. This is your city.
Living it.
Right? So listening, because we all forget sometimes after about 10 to 15 minutes, but you don't know how important that 10 to 15 minutes is to them. So don't think your time, because it's not about you. That 30-minute conversation, referrals. We're going to social media here soon. One thing that I keep in mind with any customer I ever talk with is, how can I get myself to be in their shoes? That's my goal every time I meet somebody. I want to feel what they're feeling. I want to know their pain. I want to know their frustrations. I'm not just going to ask them what they've been through. I'm going to ask them, how did they get through what they've been through? When you ask questions like this, you're touching them emotionally. You want to get people to be interested in you, touch their heart. Daniel, real quick, once you're done with that.
What's going on?
There's just something about you. And I'm just excited to work with you. When we just be patient with ourselves and really get in them. Why are we scratching the surface? Why not get inside of them just like you do with your family? Get into their life. Get into their life. Know their brothers, know their sisters, know their cousins. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And if they knew you enough, they'll let you know that somebody. That's for sure. So, can you describe a day in the life of your customer? Can you? Do you know what they went through that week that you just talked to them? Did you even ask? Did you ask what they did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? We obviously need to know what they're making right now. Maybe their credit score. They know that too. Maybe they don't. But that's okay. Because they may not be able to buy the home right then and there, but you better believe they're going to buy one day. And who are they going to remember? focused on 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or even this forever? Or are you going to be like every other agent in the world that quits after a year and a half? You know what? They're going to quit at everything else they do in life. So you know what? Don't worry about it. They say numbers don't lie, but the real estate agent does. Because they get into an industry where they think they're going to be working on their own time all the time, which is true. It's definitely more flexible. We understand that. But the work is going to be there. You might have to work a lot harder than you did at any other job in your life. Why? Because now you're your boss. It's easy to be told what to do. We naturally like to be guided sometimes. But then when you don't have somebody on top of you guiding you, it becomes a real big ballpark. Nobody's to wake you up in the morning and say, you got to be at work at 9. You got to go show that property. Nobody's saying, Dan, you better show that property. You're fired. No, it doesn't work in real estate. So you got to put that pressure on you every day. You're your own boss. I'd go as far as writing it out and put it on my walls at home, because people don't understand what you're around, what you see is who you are in here. Your brain's a sponge. You absorb everything. Everything. Everybody that you're around, you get their energy. You run into somebody that's having a bad day, now your day's bad. You talk to somebody about how the buyer bailed out, no big deal. Expect it's going to happen. Why get disappointed when it's going to happen for the rest of your career? Why not laugh about it? Oh, darn it. That's okay. I'll get them later on, and one of their friends, and a few others, because I didn't act upset with them. I didn't react. I responded in a very positive way that will shock them. So we want to touch hearts. Social media.
Bless you.
Something that's very important. As to my page, a little bit about what I've done. The first thing when you go onto my page, you'll see a banner. People don't understand that when you build social media, likes are not likes, comments are not comments, shares are not shares. They are people just like you, just not around you. So why you treat them like a number? You have a social security number, your bank account's a number, your family's a number. Why not treat people like they're something other than a number, and you'll get something other than a number? So when I went into social media, I attacked it with a new approach. There's a system I built to get this where it is. Only I know it. And you know how when you do real well in business or real estate, can you explain to somebody what you did in 1 minute? No. 1 hour? No. What about all the bad days that you had, all the struggle, the trouble, driving as fast as you can to be there on time? What about all the bad days? You're trying to speed and fast track them to success, and you've seen the squirrely lines. So you show them and say, hey, there's going to be a lot of squirrely days. But this is the reward. This is the reward for going through the struggles. So when you're on social media, expect the same thing. It's a whole nother industry. And it's one that the older generation is having a little bit of trouble trying to understand. Why? It's not because they can't. Anybody that's older than me can do anything that I do. Anything that you could do, I could do. But better, right? That's not true. It's all in here. You could do anything that you want. Social media, I tapped it a little differently. I said, people, I have a few seconds to get somebody's interest on social media. I have a few seconds. Somebody clicks on your profile, you don't see that they click there. Somebody clicks on your page, you don't see that they click there because they're judging you. It's a resume. Your page is an entire resume. Your page is your own television show. Your page is a platform to whatever you want to create. So stop building it for you, because it's not for you. It's for the eyes that are watching. Just like a real estate agent meeting with a buyer. What do they want? What would people want on your page? Do they want to see 50 million? We know you live in Orlando. I get it. But I can expect it on every post. I know now that Daniel lives in Orlando. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We need, go back to this real quick. We need a funnel. There's a lot to this picture. How are you going to get your customers to your page? Or are you just active on the page? Be active in real estate, but if you ain't prospecting, what's going to happen? It's just like this. So why not add a few people that you don't know around you? Why not graph search for people around you? Why not go on that little comment, even though they liked it one, and send them a message about their day? Why not build relationships just like we do offline, online? Why? Because it's different. But is it different? You want to be successful on social media, you'll treat it just like offline. Every relationship that you build offline, you build it the same way online. But we forget, and we don't have emotions online. You know, we don't have the emotions. We can't touch their heart the way we can in person. The experience that you leave in person is incredible compared to what you can do offline. Awareness. Are you aware that every single thing on your page is being watched? Your website. They're judging it without your permission. See, at least in person, I can act a certain way to get him to judge me a certain way. You don't have that choice on social media. You have seconds before they're going to click off your page. So how can you grab them immediately? How can you make your page so awesome that they literally see it and say, I want this guy, I don't know why? How? You got to start creating little ways. Your picture, is it warming? Is it loving? Is it kind? Is it professional? Do you have any pictures of partying? Do you have any pictures of you posting something that's upsets you? Because again, it's not about you. Get you out of your head. I want $1 million. You gotta remember that it's about what they want and you get what you want every time. So just like social media, interest, pique their interest. How are you gonna do it? I used the funnel system of videos, like I just said. After 112 of them, one of them finally went viral. And I'll show you the after effect of it happen. So this video was one that I created. Was shared 158,000 times worldwide. Millions and millions of views. I go random places and people come and find me and they say, oh man, you're that video guy. You're that video guy. That's right, I'm the video guy. That's what I do because I put out 200 of them. That's what it is. He lives in Orlando. 9,757 people.
He doesn't even live in Orlando.
Fooled ya. Hey man, you know what they say, if you don't own the product. So this video was shared worldwide, millions and millions of people, and I'll go ahead and see if we can play just one of them if you haven't seen them, and you'll see the aftermath. This one was shared 95,000 times. Now keep in mind, everybody told me I need a professional camera. I need a professional camera. I need a professional crew. I need to use a script. I need to have this. I need to have that. No. I'm the product, man. Take everything from me. I'll come back because I'm the product. The value's in me. It's not in what I have. It's not in what I have. So don't surround yourself by tools because you're the tool. You're the biggest tool. You're the only tool. You're going to go broke throughout your life. If it's not financially, it'll be some other way. Believe it. So prepare to put the pieces together stronger than they were before. Now, come with this kind of video going viral, a lot of negative people too. A lot of negative people. I'm on drugs, I'm on this, I'm on that, I'm on this. A lot of negative people, and they say the things that they know will hurt you because they're hurt too. Remember, the bully was bullied by another bully that was bullied by a bully. The negative person was negative because of a negative person around them that was negative, right? It's a disease. So when you meet somebody's having a bad day, it's because somebody around them was having a bad day, or things that they did that morning caused that bad day that's going to lash into your office. Energy is real. We're made out of atoms. We forget this. We're made out of atoms. So if I come in here with a lot of energy and I start raising my voice, you guys are going to naturally raise your voice. And you're going to get the drift. That energy's flowing. It just happens. So when you meet people, Daniel, how you doing? Don't be shy. For what? When you're with your family, you're not shy. Why is it different when you're with a customer? Why aren't you being earth-like yourself? Mr. Wilson. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. You get into a group that you don't know and you walk in there and you know, if you pull out your phone a few times, no man, relax. Because if they don't like you for you, who cares? Who cares? And that's how I took the approach on social media. 148,000 shares on this video. The very next one.
Maybe. And it's done.
There it is. This one was 56,000 shares worldwide. And totaling, I get thousands and thousands per video. And the way that I created all of this, just so you guys know, I'm not going to list everything in detail because it would take too long. Because like I said, I can't run a business that you ran with just minutes or an hour. I mean, I spent a year, I spent 15 hours a day monitoring this thing, making sure everything's up to date, messaging people back. I probably spent 2,000 hours on this. But people want the fast track. How did you do it? I'll tell you how. You ready to really know? You ready to fail as many times as I did, over 150 times? You ready to receive all the negative criticism from your friends, your family, the people that you're in contact with? You ready to go through that? And then are you ready and to be prepared that people are going to judge you even though they don't know anything about you? So you're prepared to get that kind of publicity? Because it's not all roses. I'll tell you that. This stole my identity at one point, having this many people. They told me who I was, and I believed it. Right? So don't let your family or friends or past tell you who you are. Only you know who you are. And it's inside of here every single day that you wake up. And you have a choice. What are you going to do today different than yesterday? We all like to say we're going to live until we're 80. That's not true. As you know as well as I do, people are dying right now, this very second. So we need to do everything we can every single day. What do you want to be remembered for when you do that? Something that drives me every day. I just want to be remembered to letting people know that there's more than life than just you. Because we get happiness from giving things. We know that. Receiving them, yeah, it's temporary. We know that. We buy something, it's old news last week. We buy a huge house and we realize we don't use half of it. We buy a fast car and don't even drive fast. Right? So every single day we just got to keep in mind, what experience do you want to leave behind? Well, I just want people to remember that I remembered them. That's it. I know all you guys have a family. I know you guys all have friends. You guys want to live a balanced life, not all work. That's why you're in real estate. You're a promoter of your product every day, and you're the product, not the home. You're not. Right? We like to sell the best home. I got the best property. That's nice, but if they don't like you, they may not buy. And if they do buy, that's the last sale that you ever get from them. So let's not look for temporary sales. Let's look for longevity. Right? I could go way more in depth, so this will just finish here at 11. With social media, a couple of things. Step number 1, your picture. When I go to it, what am I going to think about it? Keep in mind, thoughts are things. So when I go to your profile, what am I going to be thinking? So when you have your Facebook open there, what are people going to be thinking? It's not what you're thinking. Okay, when somebody comes to my page, what are they thinking? What age are they? Who are they? Where are they? I don't know. But what I do know is I need to plan for that. Because we put up everything that we like, and if they don't like what you like, then you get no likes. Right? So it's not about you. It's about what the viewers want. It's your own television. You put up your timeline. Create a funnel. Funnel's number 1. How can you drive people to your social media page? Whether it's your real estate or anything, how? What value you can provide? Instead of posting pictures, maybe I should create a couple of minute clips on why you're an extraordinary agent and you're like no one else. Maybe I should post that on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. You know why I love real estate? I just like helping people. I recognize that a house is the biggest sale they'll ever make in their life. I'm patient. I'm your real estate agent. Why not build an emotional bond through the internet? People are watching whether without you knowing or not. And they're viewing your page. You might not have likes, but they're viewing your page. It's a TV show. How are your viewers watching? Who are they? What are they doing? Why are they there? What's the purpose? When I go to your page, what's the message? You go to mine, it's all about love, positive, and happiness. You know that. Already 252 videos. So you know that's me. So you got to build your identity. What do you want them to view you for? It can't be multiple things. You got to be that one thing that they can tie to their brain. And when they talk about you, because remember, conversations are happening about you regardless of you knowing about it. Everywhere. Yeah, the good and the bad. So how are we leaving these customers? How are we making them feel? When I got out of that meeting, when I got out of meeting that person, that listing, how did I make them feel? Because that's all that matters. Because if they don't feel it, everything you're saying, who cares? Right? You were talking to somebody before that wasn't listening. It's kind of annoying. And you were also the one listening to somebody before, but were you really listening? Or were you constantly thinking, shut up? Or were you constantly waiting to reply? Or were you thinking they're just a broke person? You thinking that it's just a waste of time? Nobody's a waste of time because they have a family just like you. Yeah, they may be negative, they may be responding differently than you. They're the same as you. And all you have to do is find that bridge right into their heart. Get on the same page. They may not be able to afford this house. Maybe they can't buy the house that they really want. But if you can get them to recognize that, get on the same page with them, build a good relationship, they'll understand. They're people too. So I'll finish it with that. I hope you guys took something from this meeting. I appreciate Mr. Wilson for bringing me in.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Anything?
So one thing real quick I wanted to do, and finish this off. Go to YouTube.
Anthony, as far as marketing yourself on Facebook, what do you think is going to get the most outcome? Is it going to be a status? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a picture? What's the best kind of way to market?
Value. What can they learn from your page? Everybody wants to learn. We love to learn. If you're not learning, you're dying. So how can they come to your page and educate them right? We want to get them thinking. People love to think. They want to think. Go to your page and, wow, that's nice status, right? Positive is always going to win. Because everybody, there's so much negative in the world. You'll stick out like a positive stuff. Positive. What did you do in your day? Maybe even writing one thing, and again, there's so many questions to this that I can't even put together a system unless it takes a couple of weeks. But when somebody goes to your page, introduce yourself first of all to whoever's there. It may not be much, but get in the habit of introducing yourself on your page, of who you are, so they get to know who you are, because they don't know who you are. And there's a lot of fake things on social media, so present yourself and who you are and how your day was. Start out with something simple. Talk about what you did, what your week was like, and then send the question out. What was your week like? Because you're shooting, real quick, you're shooting to you don't know where. That's the hardest thing on social media. There's no target. There's no target because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's going to be like, hey, me. Because when people comment, you don't even know who they were. Like, oh, who's this guy? I don't know this person. But that's okay. That's okay. So just keep in mind that value, just like money doesn't matter, it's the value. It's the same thing on social media. Go ahead.
Do you also maintain a personal profile on social media?
Yeah, I have a public page with 52,000 followers on it, and then I have a personal page with 221,000.
And how would you say those two different accounts either are similar, or how do they differ?
Well, what I do is I use the funnel. One page is the funnel, and I get them into the other page. Because we got to lead them somewhere. So what are you going to do to funnel them, and where are you taking them? Just like a business model when you're writing it out. It's very similar to social media. But we can't see the people, we can't feel the person, so unfortunately we don't remember that we need to touch their heart and get emotional with them and listen to them. Just like you are in person, treat every like, just like me and you would treat each other if I was buying a house from you. Same approach, online as offline. And real quick, this video here, I don't mess with YouTube too much yet.
Guys, because it is my sole purpose to wake as many people up as I possibly can, because I need
Scott, can you grab the remote that's right there on the
This video was the most viral.
Turn the volume down.
You can still be happy, and you can still do things you really want for you guys, because it is my sole purpose to wake as many people up as I possibly can, because I need people to realize, whether you're 15 years old or 500 years old, that you can still be happy and you can still do things you really want to do, because you're not limited. You have your legs, you have your eyes, you have your arms, you're breathing, you're living, baby. Can you realize that? I can't believe it. There's people in the hospital right now dying, fighting for their lives. But you, my friend, are breathing. You just click play. You have fingers, you have an arm. You just click play. Can you realize how many things we take for granted, guys? Come on. We got put on this earth by the people we loved, and they might have bashed you, they might have criticized you, and they might have not said the most wonderful things to you over the course of the years, but let's realize one thing, guys. We all want the same things. We all want to be happy. We all want to be wealthy, and we all want to succeed. What really matters, what really, really, really matters is your breathing. And the people that love you are breathing. And the people around you are breathing. So there's no reason to be unhappy. There's no reason to think that you can't achieve your dreams, your goals, your visions. Listen, I understand you want to get a great job one day, but a job is somebody else's dream. You have a dream, and it's inside of here. And I don't care who clicks play on this video. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you never met me before. I'm here for you.
Why I said I don't care who clicks play, because this isn't edited. This is me thinking as fast as the music, with the music playing. I don't put the music in after. I said that because you don't know who's watching your page. You don't know who's watching it. So keep it general. Make sure everything's not biased. Make sure it's not one-sided. Make sure it's just not black. You want all areas to come to your page. So keep it open. Like Joel Steen, he's got such a big audience because he keeps it pretty general. The average guy, even if they're not a Christian, can watch his stuff. People may hate that, but it's a genius platform that he's built. 10 million people watching a week.
Friend, I believe in you. I believe in every single one of you. Because if you took the time to click play on this video, I believe in you. Because if you can click play on a video, you most certainly can do anything you want to do, because you're functioning, you're breathing, you're living, guys. You might not have the best relationship right now. You might not have all the money you want right now. Your family may not be going the way you want it to go right now, but just know that you can live the life you want to live, and it's inside of here. And when you're at home doing the things that you like to do that people don't really notice or people don't see because you're not being the real you, just know that's who you need to be. And if you want to be happy, you got to start loving yourself because you are a beautiful person. And God didn't just create you for nothing. You have a purpose.
One thing on that part is because we forget that when you're with your family and friends, and this is all such a big deal, how you're acting when you're with your family, the comfortable you. If you're like that all day, you'll attract people that are comfortable around you because they like you for you and not the false you, the image you created of you, the identity of you, the ego of you. So then everything in your life starts to change because you're around people that love you for you. And you walk around a positive person, which attracts more people. You're like a funnel. You are the funnel in that case when you're being yourself.
It's inside of here. The visions you have, the dreams you have, the goals you have are real. They are real. They are real. Guys, you're no different than Warren Buffett. You're no different than Bill Gates. You're no different than Obama. You guys are special. You're important. You're beautiful people. You have a heartbeat because that's what really matters. A relationship doesn't work off of attraction. That fades away. Have you ever bought something new and within a couple of months it's old news? Heart never grows old, but when it does grow old, it dies and never comes back. Just realize you can always go out and get a job. You can always go out and find somebody to hang out with. You can always go meet new people. You can always go find more money. You can always go find more items, cars, clothes, but you can never replace a life, and you can never replace anybody that's put you here on this world because they are the reasons why you're walking, talking, living, and breathing. Your ownership, your parents, your friends, your family, the ones that are there for you when you're broke, the ones that are there for you when you're down, the ones that are there for you when it really matters, them the people you need to be surrounding yourself around because life is too fucking short to worry about what people think about you guys. Sorry for my language, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If somebody's being mean to you, if somebody's hurting your feelings, if somebody's controlling you, just know they're miserable, guys. Please just know they're miserable. I don't care if they have $1 million. If they're being a rude person to a stranger, we're equal. There's no difference. They have more money than you, but they're not living any longer than you. They're still going to die, and guess what? When they die, they're going to die the same way you died, with nothing. They came into this world with nothing, so don't let people think they're better than you. Don't let people think they're greater than you. You are great. You are intelligent. You have everything you need to succeed. And if you don't believe it, you're never going to achieve it, guys. If you can vision it, it takes one vision. It takes one goal. It takes one dream to be happy. At the end of the night, before you go to sleep, when you're thinking about all the things running around your brain, like, wow, where am I at? What am I doing? How do I do this? Just know, you know where to go. Just know, you know what to do. You need the direction, I'll give you it. Inside of here. I don't know what you're waiting for, and I'm talking to every single one of you. Your direction, your guidance is in here. You need to follow it. And when you follow it and you're starting to feel like you're failing, that's okay. Because the happiest people in the world go through a lot of failures, a lot of battles, and you will forever deal with tough situations, guys. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, because you're no different than any one of us, and I'm no different than you.
So that's what sets everything off. And one thing I want to leave with, and I'm done here, it's not over until you're over. Every day you can meet one person that can refer you to 5 people. And even though you're going through rough times, rough months, rough days, you got to stay that way. You have to, because if you don't, you're done. A negative person gets what? Nothing. So why not try to stay positive? Because everybody can feel it, everybody can see it, and you're leaving an impression.